Hello, good morning students. I'm back again with session 2 of history, chapter 1, class 7th, part 2. Chapter 1, part 2, class 7th, history. Name of the chapter, Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. Means in this lesson, we are trying to know about the changes which have been occurred from 700 to 1700. Okay, from the 700 to 1700. What changes have been occurred? Some of them I have explained you in part 1. Before starting part 2, we will have a revise on part 1 also. So whatever you have missed or whatever you have forgotten, you can recollect again, remember again. Okay, so let's have a look on the contents first. Which contents are we going to cover in this part 2? Okay, we are going to take the topics like new social and political groups, region and empire, old and new religions, thinking about time and historical periods. We are going to see these topics in part 2. In part 1, we had seen about the new and old terminologies. Means we had seen some new words. Okay, what were they in the medieval period, what were they in the medieval India time. Okay, and we had also seen the historians, which kind of sources did they use to tell or to know, to study about the history. Okay, so before moving to the chapter, let's have a quick revision on part 1 and let's see what had we learned in part 1. Seen in this chapter about the historical languages, historical records. We had seen that the historical records were written in different languages and they were different from what it was in original. Okay, we had seen that the historians had to depend on the sources. What kind of sources the historians had to rely or depend on? They had to depend on the old coins, they had to depend on the inscriptions, the architectures. I had told you what is inscription. Inscriptions are the written records on the hard surface such as stones, metals, etc. Okay, they were also in the textual records. Textual records means in previously in the ancient times, before medieval time, when there was no paper invented, people used to write on the metal or either on a cloth or on the leaf of the tree. Okay, but it was seen that the inscription got or the manuscripts got damaged. The manuscript got damaged very easily because of these things. So what did they started doing? They started writing the inscription on the walls, stones, pillars, metals, everything. But it was not that easy. It was not an easy task. So what did they do? When the paper was invented, they started writing everything on the paper. Okay. Now the manuscripts or the inscriptions which were there, they were all handwritten and it were written by the scribes to make the copy of it, because there was no printing press in the medieval period. In the medieval period, there were no printing press. So whatever copies were being made, they all were made handwritten. These all things we had seen in part 1. Now moving to part 2, we will take today a new topic and that will be new social and political groups. Now, the 1,000 years between 700 to 750 was a period of large-scale economic, political, social and cultural changes. Okay, there were too many changes during these 1,000 years. Too many changes. Changes in the form of economic, political changes were also there, and cultural changes. Okay, now this was the period of innovations. This was the period of innovations. Innovations means new things were invented. Mobility and economic, social and many changes. Okay, so you can say as the 1,000 years between 700 to 750 was the period of innovations, when new things were invented, or you can say there were a lot of changes. Okay, now changes in what ways? What changes were being there? There were many developments during that period. Developments in the terms of technology. If you want an example, we can say like Persian wheel, which was invented at that time for irrigation. Okay. Then spinning wheel. It was also invented for weaving. Powerful firearms for big fights. Such kind of developments in technologies were there during the medieval period. During the medieval period, which were they? Persian wheel for irrigation, spinning wheel for weaving. These are some of the examples. There were many innovations other than this also. Okay. So here we are talking about the changes during the 1,000 years, between the 1,000 years, what kind of changes occurred from the ancient period to the medieval period. Okay, and with the development of technologies, people traveled in search of opportunities. Opportunities in sense not only to bring new ideas, but also new foods and beverages. Means wherever they used to travel, they used to bring something new from there. Okay, either the new way of cooking, or either the new foods, what is to be eaten, or the beverages. Now what are beverages? Beverages you can count it as drinks. It can be tea, it can be coffee, it can be juice, it can be anything. Okay, so these were some of the changes. Now there were still many changes in the terms of political groups also, like you can say about the Mughals, the Rajputs, the Cholas. Okay, let's talk something now about them. Now, one group of people who were very important, or you can say who became important during this medieval period, who were they? They were the Rajputs. Okay, now the Rajputs derived from the word Rajputra. What does Rajputra means? Rajputra means son of the ruler. Rajputra means son of the ruler. I repeat again, that one group became very important, one group of people became very important during the medieval period. Now who were they? They were the Rajputs, and the Rajputs derived from the word Rajputra. Rajputra means the son of the ruler. Okay, now between 8th and 14th century, the term was applied more generally for the group of warriors. Warriors means the one who fight in the wars. Okay, and they were claimed as Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas are the brave people who fight in the war. So the Rajputs, who were the warriors, were also claimed as Kshatriya caste status at that time. Okay, and that caste was counted in a high class, in a high status. Now this term Rajput okay, was not only the rulers. As Rajputra, I said you the word. Rajputra means son of the ruler. But here it's telling that they were not only counted as just rulers or chieftains, but they were also soldiers and commanders who served the army in different monarchs. Different monarchs means different kingdoms. Okay? And with this Rajputs, the Rajputs, they were called as the son of the rulers, means they were the rulers. They were called the rulers or the chieftains or the warriors, you can say. But including with them, there were Marathas, Sikh, Jats, Ahams and Kayas, who also used the opportunity of that age to become partially politically important. Means with the Rajputs, there were other category of people also. They were the Marathas, the Sikhs, the Jats, the Ahams and the Kayas, who became important in the Indian subcontinent in that period. Okay, they also tried to prove themselves in the same way the Rajputs were. Okay. Now with this kind of changes, slowly it happened that throughout this period there was a gradual clearing of forests. Okay, and due to this, and why were the forests cleaned? The forests were cleaned for the extension of agriculture. Means the people needed land for agriculture. Okay, now the change faster and more complete in some areas than in others. Now this change means the clearing of forest took place in some areas very faster and in some areas it was slow. Means the change took place but very slow in some parts and very faster in some parts. Now what happened due to this? Due to this, changes in the habitat. Habitat means to refer to the environment of a region. Okay, so what happened? Because of the cutting down of the trees or clearing of the forest, the people who were called as forest dwellers. Forest dwellers means the people who live in the forest. Okay, who dwell. Dwell means to reside, to live. Okay, now what is your dwelling place? Your dwelling place is your house. Okay, so here it is said that when the forests were cleared, the forest dwellers, now what happened? They had to change their migrate. Migrate means now they had to move from their forest to some other place. Okay, and others started tilling the land and became peasants. Means the people, the forest dwellers who did not want to change their place or did not want to leave the forest and go, what did they do? They started searching the land and became peasants. Peasants means now they became the farmers. Okay, now these were the new social groups. Previously in the ancient times the people were herders, hunters and gatherers. Now with the change of period, with the change of time, now people started becoming farmers also. Okay, so did you understand? I'll explain you again. With the change of time, there was a gradual cleaning of forest. Okay, and these forests were cleaned to make the land for agriculture. Now because of the cleaning of forest, the forest dwellers, now they had to migrate. Migrate means now they had to change their places, from which some of the people changed their places. They left the forest and went somewhere else. And some who were not ready to change the forest or not ready to leave the place, they tilled a land. Tilled a land means they selected a land and they became the farmers. Okay. Now these new farmers, as they were new in the market, so what started happening? People started influencing them. Okay, the chieftains, the priests, the monasteries, the temples, they started influencing them. Okay, and they became the part of the large complex of the society. Now, as they also had the land, now the forest dwellers who became farmers, now they also had the land. So what happened? Because of this, now they were also a part of the big society. Okay, and because of this, as they were farmers, they were growing, they were doing agriculture, they also started receiving help from the rulers, from the merchants. Okay, so this is how new social and economic political groups developed. Okay, different groups of jatis or subcaste came into existence after this on the basis of occupation. On the basis of occupation, like some people became farmers, some started keeping cattle. Okay, some started keeping cattle, some started the artisanal work. Okay, and these were some kind of activities, or you can say some kind of occupation on which the different groups of jatis and subcaste existed, from which some jatis had their own rules and regulations. Okay, some jatis had their own rules and regulations, like they made the jati panchayat, and in which an assembly was held, and the assembly was you can say that it was held by the elder people. Elder people used to take the in charge of it. So this how the new social and political group developed in the medieval period. Now, as we had talked about the Persian wheel, okay, I'll show you a picture of it and explain you something about it. Now, this is the picture of the Persian wheel. Okay, the 1,000 years between 700 to 1750 was a period of large scale economic development. I told you some kind of political, social and cultural development also took place at that time, from which one was the Persian wheel, which was used for irrigation. Okay, now the Persian wheel is a mechanical water lifting device operated by draught animals. Now, what are draught animals? Draught animals are the animals who carry loads on their back, or you can say on the cart, like bullock cart, horse cart, okay, camels. So, Persian wheel is a mechanical water lifting device which is being operated usually by the draught animals like bullocks, buffaloes and camels. It is used to lift water from the water sources, such as typically you can say like open wells. When it is very hard for you to lift the water or to draw the water from the well, at that time such kind of Persian wheels are being used, which is an easy technical way to draw the water from the well. Okay, so this is the Persian wheel, which was invented in 1,000 years between 700 to 1750, that you can say during the medieval period, which made irrigation irrigation more easier. Okay, further let's see about the region and the empires, how were they been controlled, how were they been developed by different kings. Now there were many large states such as Cholas, Tughlaqs and Mughals, about which you will learn in the further chapter 2, 3, 4. Okay, these states encompassed many regions. Okay, what is encompassed? As I told you that the large states like Cholas, Tughlaqs and Mughals, they encompassed many regions. Encompassed many regions means they had the hold on very big areas. They had a good hold on very big areas. Okay. Big areas means you can say from Bengal to Afghanistan. At that time India was not divided into two parts. Okay, the period in the medieval period India was not divided into two parts. So here it's telling that the large states encompassed many regions, had a hold on many big regions. You can say it like from Bengal to Afghanistan, but still they were claiming to have control on other regions also. Means from Bengal to Afghanistan it is a very large area, but still they wanted more area. And the historians who studied about it, who read about it, they still did not understand or not able to find the proper reason about it. They were not able to find out why these rulers kept claiming to have control over other regions when they had the control from Bengal to Afghanistan. Then too they needed more control over other regions. Now by 700, okay, by 700 it was seen that all the distinct geographical dimensions, means the Cholas, the Mughals, everybody, all the dynasties had their own language and cultural characteristics. Okay, so they were also associated with specific ruling dynasties. Okay, so this was the considerable conflict. Conflict means a type of a fight between all these states. Means the Cholas, the Khiljis, the Tughlaqs. Okay, they had their own language and cultural characteristics. So now each and every dynasty wanted to be large, more large. Okay, so this was the main reason of their conflict. Nobody wanted the less. It can be said as nobody wanted the less. Okay, now slowly, occasionally what happened? The Cholas, the Khiljis, Tughlaqs, Mughal dynasties, they built a very big empire. Now they all built a very big empire, and that empire in one was called as Pan regions. That empire in one was called as Pan regions. Now, however, all those empires were not equally stable. The Mughals, the Cholas, the Khiljis alone, they were not stable. Okay, and because of this, they started fighting. They often fought with each other. So what did they do? They all built one empire, and that empire was known as Pan regions, because they knew that alone they are very weak. Okay, alone they are not stable. And so what did they do? They became one. All the kingdoms became one empire, and it became a Pan region. Okay. Now till the period of Mughal Empire, means you can say that when there was Mughal Empire or Mughal rule, the Britishers were not that much powerful. Okay. But when the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, it led to be the re-emergence of the regional states. Or you can say, when the Mughal Empire declined, the British Raj became more powerful. Okay. all the dynasties, or you can say all the kingdoms, became one empire and they became more powerful. But when the Mughal Empire came to an end, when the Mughal Empire declined means to come to an end. Okay, now the Britishers had the time to become more powerful. Okay, now with the decline of Mughal Empire, many small rulers and kingdoms came up across India, because before this everybody had to be under Mughal Empire. Now as Mughal Empire declined, the small kingdoms now they came across India, but almost all of them continued to be influenced by the major changes happening across the Indian subcontinents. Now there were some kind of changes also, because the Mughal Empire declined, so the rules and regulations changed, the British Raj took the power. Okay, so with these changes, most of the small rulers and the kingdom who came across India, almost all of them continued to be influenced. Okay, further I will show you a map. In that map is during the Muhammad Tughlaq reign's map. Okay, what was the Delhi Sultanate at that time, which kind of kingdoms, or you can say which kind of dynasties were there at that time. Let's have a look. We will have a look at the provinces of the Delhi Sultanate. Here, have a look. You can see different places here. If you see it in the book, this map is been given in the book of yours on page number 9. When the book is there in your hand, just have a look. This map is there on page number 9 of your book, chapter number 1. Okay, the map in the book is with some kind of Roman numbers indicating, and the names have been written below in the book. But here on the screen, I have shown you the names directly on the map. Okay, you can see the Sindh, Multan, Samas, Vijayanagar, Bengal, Tibet, Punjab, Kabul, Malwa, Jaunpur. So there are many such provinces, and these provinces were there at the time of Delhi Sultanate, the province of Delhi Sultanate, and this was during the Muhammad Tughlaq's reign. Okay, now let's know something about the new and old religions. What were the religious beliefs about the people? Okay, 1,000 years of history, we have explored witness of major developments in the regional, or you can say religious traditions also. We have seen that the beliefs of the people have changed from period to period, or changed from time to time. Okay, people beliefs in the divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. Okay, now collective belief in supernatural agency, it is called as religion. Means when there is a group of people with the same belief, then it is called as religion. More define, if you want to define about religion, if somebody asks you, or that is a question also in the exercise today, what is religion? So the answer is the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods is religion. Okay, when you have a faith or you have a belief on a superhuman power, you can count it as God, then that is related with religion. Okay. Now, it was during the medieval period that important changes occurred in what we call it as Hinduism today. Okay, these included the worship of deities, means previously you can say, or in the ancient times there were no idols. Idols means murtis, you can say. Okay, no statues of god or anything. People used to worship the nature at that time. But with the changing period, or with the changing of time, people started worshipping the deities. Deities means now each and every religion had their own god. Okay, the construction of temples started happening, because I told you previously people used to trust or worship on the nature, like trees, sun, moon, water. Okay, such kind of things they used to worship. And slowly as the time started changing, it was during the medieval period, important changes took place. Now people started worshipping deities, they started constructing temples. Okay, and importance of the brahmanas, priest. Okay, now the brahmanas were in the dominant group. Dominant group means they were on the higher class, they were counted as higher class people in the society. So such kind of changes, now this can be counted as new social group changes also, and this can be counted as new religious changes also. Where previously there were no religions, there were no class, nothing, everybody was equal. But with the change of time, new religions started developing. Okay, now we all know that in ancient time there was only one language known, that was Sanskrit. Okay, now the brahmanas in the ancient times were the people who knew Sanskrit very well, and because of this they got a lot of respect in the society. Their knowledge of Sanskrit text made them get the lot of respect in the society. Okay, they got a dominant position with the support of the patrons. Now what are patrons? Patrons are the influential wealthy individuals who supports another person. Means the brahmanas, they get the dan from someone, right? Now these brahmanas in the ancient period, or you can say in the medieval period, they became more dominant because of their patrons. Okay, and one more major development in the medieval period, what was it? It was the emergence of the idea of bhakti. What was the major development? Idea of bhakti. What is it? Idea of bhakti. Idea of bhakti, you can count it as like loving a personal deity that devotees could reach without the aid of priests or elaborate rituals. Means you can worship your god without the help of any Brahmins, without the help of any Maharaj, without the help of any priest, anybody. Okay, and during this period Hinduism also became stronger in India. Why? Because many people started with worshipping the deities. Many deities came to be worshipped, as it can be said, and the royal families, the rich families which were there, they started building new temples. Okay, so these were the changes. More changes which took place. Brahmanas, these brahmanas were not only mastered in Sanskrit, they were also mastered in mathematics, and because I told you that they had the knowledge of Sanskrit, they got the lots of respect in the society. Okay, then the idea of individual bhakti means worshipping your personal god without the need of any priest, and become popular, like Mirabai, you can count it as. Mirabai used to worship Lord Krishna, and for that she didn't need any priest. She used to worship her personal, you can say the personal deity. She used to direct worship her personal deity, and she also became popular because of that. Okay. And because of this, it happened that new religion appeared in that period. New religions like which religion? It was Islam that entered the Indian subcontinent through foreign merchants. Okay, and the migrants means the people who used to change the place from one place to another, who used to move from one place to another, reside, you can say. So in the medieval period, one new religion entered the Indian subcontinent, and that was Islam, which was brought in the Indian subcontinent by the merchants or the migrants. Okay, and many powerful rulers such as Akbar, Aurangzeb, now they were the great followers of Islam. So these are the old and new religions which were there, which developed in the medieval period. Now Quran is the holy book of the Islams, and it also asks Muslim to believe in one God, that is Allah. Now the two main faiths in Islam, the one is Shia and the other is Sunni. Okay, this is also a question in the exercise, so please note it down. There were the Shia Muslims who believed that the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of the Muslim community, and the Sunni Muslims who accepted the authority of the early leaders, that is the Khalifa of the communities. So this Muslim caste was also divided into two. They had two faiths. One was Shia and other is Sunni. Okay. The Shia believed that Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of the Muslim community, and the Sunni Muslims, they accepted the authority of the early leaders, that is the Khalifas of the community. Okay. So these were the new and the old religions which developed in the medieval period, where people started worshipping their own personal deities. Brahmanas, priests, they also had a high class place in the society. Okay, so these kind of changes occurred in the medieval period. Now let's take the last topic of this chapter, that is thinking about time and historical period. What are we going to see in this? In this, it is said, historians do not see time just as a passing of hours, days or years. Okay? Time also reflects change in social and economic organization. Now for the historians, when they study about the history, for them it is not like passing of hours, years, days, but for them it is the reflection of changes. What changes had occurred in the history? Okay? Now thinking about the time, when they think about the time, they think about today's period, about today's generation, about the modern time, modern India, and they compare this time with the medieval and ancient periods. Okay? So it is to be said that time is not simply the passing of hours, days or years, but it is the reflection of changes that happen everywhere. Okay? All the time. But we can study time in an easier way if we divide this time into periods. Like in the history we are learning, in 6th standard we had studied about the ancient period. Okay? Now in 7th standard we are learning about the medieval period. And when we move to 8th standard, the same history we will learn about modern period. Means we have divided this period into parts, so it is very easy for you to understand. Okay? The British historian divided the Indian history into 3 periods. The first is the Indian, second is Muslim, and third is British. But no one follows that classification today because it is considered very narrow. If we move to the olden periods, ancient periods, in the first period it was, you can say, like it was the Hindus. It was a period of Hindus. Then came the period of Muslims, and then the period of Britishers, when there were British rule for 200 years on us. Okay, but now if we take it as, now if we classify as that rules, that period, then it will be counted as narrow, because now our country is a democratic country. So it is our own rules and own regulations. Okay. Now instead the period between 700 to 750, it is called the medieval period, and medieval means the period between old and modern. From starting the chapter we are talking about medieval. Medieval means middle. 6th standard we had talked about ancient period, that is the old. 8th standard we will learn about the modern period, that is the new period, the new generation. Now the one which we are talking about right now, it is the medieval period, so that medieval means middle. Okay. Now during the medieval period, India became very rich and powerful, because at that time there was no British rule. India was a golden bird at that time, it can be said that way. Okay, and because of it, because India was very rich and powerful, many merchants were attracted towards it. Okay, even attracted even more merchants and governments over around all the world, and especially the Europe. So this is about the historical period and about its time. Here we come to an end of the chapter. I hope you have understood everything. Okay? Study the word meanings of part 1. Now we will move to the vocabulary or the word meanings of part 2. Okay? So, note it down. To the word meanings, our today's first word is decline. D-E-C-L-I-N-E. Decline. Decline means a failing or gradual loss, as in strength, character, power or value. Decline, a failing or gradual loss in strength, power, character or value. Next, migrant. Migrate and migrant. Migrate means to go from one place to another, and migrant is the person who moves from one place to another. Especially you can say in order to find work or for education, such kind of. So migrant, the person who moves from one place to another, especially in order to find work. Third word is dynasty. D-Y-N-A-S-T-Y. Dynasty. Dynasty means a sequence of rulers from the same family. Same family means father, father's son, son's son, same family, the sequence of rulers. Okay? So, dynasty, a sequence of rulers from the same family. The Mughal dynasty. Akbar, Akbar's son Salim, then Salim's son, such as. Empire, fourth word. Empire, a group of countries ruled by a single person. Empire means a group of many kingdoms you can count as. Okay? And when many kingdoms or many countries become one, it is counted as an empire. So empire, a group of countries ruled by a single person, government or country. Province. Next word is province. A principal administrative division of a country or empire. Means you can say a part of. A part of a country or an empire is known as province. I repeat again. Province, a principal administrative division of a country or an empire. Last word is trend. T-R-E-N-D. A general direction in which something is developing or changing. What is trends? A general direction in which something is developing or changing. I hope you have noted down all the word meanings. Okay, let's take a look on a small exercise. For the exercise, our first is the fill in the blanks. First fill in the blanks. Okay. The Persian wheel was used for. I had shown you the picture of Persian wheel. What is Persian wheel used for? Persian wheel was used for irrigation. Persian wheel was used for irrigation. Next question. Name the two sects of Islam. Two sects of Islam. Shia and Sunni. Answer is Shia and Sunni. The two sects of Islam, Shia and Sunni. Okay. Into how many periods did the British historians divide the history of India? Into how many periods? The British historians divided the history of India into 3 periods. Hindu, Muslim and British. The British historians divided the history of India into 3 periods. Which were they? Hindu, Muslim and British. What is religion? The belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power. What is religion? The belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power. Okay. Next, Rajput was the name derived from the word. Rajput is derived from which word? Rajputana. Rajput is derived from the word Rajputana. And last question. What does word Rajputana means? Rajputana means the son of rulers. Rajputana means the son of rulers. So have you noted down all the question answers? Study well whatever you have written and learned in part 1, and this is part 2. Okay? Learn and study everything. Take care of your health. Till then, have a good day. Bye.